Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Daly Field in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's East Coast Football League contest between the visiting Rhody Ravens and the hosting MetroWest Golden Badgers. We'll soon be getting this one underway. You can see captains from both sides meeting at midfield for the opening coin toss. There was a soccer practice going on the field that just cleared out, so we're just about ready to get this one going. And I apologize in advance if the Wi-Fi connection isn't the best out here. We've been having some problems with it all season here at Daly Field. The video is going to be choppy at some points, but you should still be able to hear my commentary cleanly all the way through. And as always, we'll have a fully recorded version of the video, so if any big plays get cut out due to the choppy Wi-Fi connection, then you'll be able to see them full and smooth in their entirety later on tonight. But for now, we're getting set to kick this game off. This game, a rematch of these teams' season openers. They played down in Rhode Island. The Ravens defeated the Badgers 27-7 in that matchup. Since then, the Ravens have remained undefeated as they followed up that win over the Badgers with a 13-0 win over the Rhode Island Raptors and a 29-8 victory over the Middlesex Longhorns. As for the Badgers, following their season-opening loss to the Ravens, they then lost back-to-back games at home, 35-12 to the Raptors and 40-12 to the Longhorns. But the Badgers are riding high off their most recent result as they got a win on the road against the Connecticut Lightning by a final score of 14-8. Scoring the game-winning touchdown on a pass from Marquise Hughes to Jonathan Joseph. Badgers setting up to receive the opening kickoff on the right side of the field. Ravens coming out to kick. Back deep for the Badgers is number 33, Jonathan Joseph, who got that game-winning score against the Lightning. And I think this is actually the first home game he's been able to play in. He's been a big presence for the team's offense during their road contests, as he also, I believe, scored the team's lone touchdown the last time they faced the Ravens, but has not played at home so far. He missed the games against the Raptors and Longhorns. We got a note in the live chat from William Jefferson saying, "Let's go Badgers." And saying, when one of the GOATs of Boston jumps in this stream, every player on the Badgers should show up and show out. Marquise and the guys are fun to watch. And I agree, this has been a very fun team to watch this year. As we get ready to start this one off, Badgers and Ravens, here's the kickoff. A line drive towards the far side of the field, taking off a couple bounces. It dies there. It's picked up by Joseph. Joseph takes off running, heading towards the near side, looking for a blocker. Got a blocker, found a hole. Now Almost got around the edge there, but just dragged down close to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Badgers begin their first offensive series of the night at trying to see if it's their own 28 or 29. Looks like the 29-yard line is where we are going to start this possession. The Badgers are on a streak of 3 straight games with 2 touchdowns each, but their last game where they didn't reach that amount was that season opener against the Ravens. Only scored once in that one. We'll see how they do here. Quarterback Marquise Hughes in shotgun for the Badgers. Running back Cuba Morales on his left. 2 receivers on either side of the formation. They send Jonathan Joseph in motion. Fake the handoff to Joseph. They give to Morales, who goes up the middle for a short gain. They were hoping the threat of Joseph's speed, especially coming off that kickoff, would create a sufficient decoy, but just not a big enough hole for Morales to break through. Morales is one of those running backs where if he gets a chance to pick up some speed, you know, like if he gets past the line of scrimmage into open field, he's got some size and some muscle to him that can get some yards after contact. Just got to get enough space to build up momentum. 2nd and 9 from the 30 now. Once again, 2 receivers on either side of Hughes. Different running back in the backfield now. Hughes takes the snap, hands off, and tackled behind the line was number 14, who was not listed on the Badgers lineup on the ECFL website, but there was previously a player listed as number 14 on the team, and that was Deshaun Brown. I'm not sure if that's who number 14 is today, but either way, that rushing attempt, a loss of 1. And so 1 yard gained, 1 yard lost, and it'll be 3rd and 10. Badgers have not gone to the air yet, and with 3rd and long, that feels likely. Once again, 2 receivers either side. Morales to the left of Hughes in the backfield. Ooh, we've got our first whistle, and I think that's going to be a false start on the Badgers, and it will. 5 yards back on the penalty. You could see the Ravens defenders dancing at the line of scrimmage, trying to draw a jump or even just a twitch from an offensive lineman. And they got what they wanted, and the Badgers are pushed 5 yards back to the 24. 3rd and 15 now. Hughes takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking. Pockets collapsing around him. He takes off running and does not get far. Does get a short gain, but that's going to bring up 4th and long for the Badgers, as things do not go according to plan on the first possession, at least not for the Badgers. Looks like a gain of about 4 for Marquise Hughes on that scramble. Brings up 4th and 11. Jonathan Joseph back out in another special team situation, this time as the punter. There's the snap. Oh, he doesn't have time. He's taking off and running, looking for an opening. Slices that punt, and it does not get far as it flies out of bounds. The Ravens brought pressure on the potential punt block there. Joseph was worried about the punt getting sent right back in his face, And so he ran a little bit to try and create an opening for a punt, but punting on the run, it's hard to get a clean kick on that. So the Ravens take over with good field position here. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Badgers' 37-yard line. So the punt ends up being about a 9-yard punt. Ravens coming in with a tight formation. Quarterback number 3, Chris Duarte, under center. Handoff on 1st down, bouncing to the outside. There's some room. Forced out of bounds was number 21, Yannick Duarte. So they go for the outside run to start. They go from the 37 down to the 32, gain of 5 on the carry. You know, it's not many teams in this league that you see line up under center. A lot of teams line up in shotgun to try and give their quarterback a little more time to make something happen. It can be tough to build up the offensive line necessary for a more classic formation like this. They go for the handoff again. Number 13 trying to move and almost tried to tackle her, but Hughes grabbed him around the ankles. Number 13, Tristan Casey, moves it close to the 1st down marker. No, he gets to the 1st down marker exactly. Gets exactly to the 27, which was the yard to gain. Back-to-back 5-yard runs by the Ravens. And that'll be good for a 1st down. Once again, Chris Duarte under center. Sends a man in motion. Toss, Yannick Duarte running with it. Has a bit of a hole. Now bouncing to the outside. Slips and falls. After another decent gain there. The Ravens starting out with these small chunk plays, as that gain of, I'm going to say 6 on that one to the 21-yard line. And again, so different from what we see a lot of times in this league. A lot of teams will just go for big chunk plays, and either they get those big gains or they come up broke. This team, which is now coming out in a different formation, they've been going for small chunks so far, but now in a shotgun formation, we'll see what they do here. Chris Duarte takes the snap, hands off to Yannick, tries to go up the middle, breaks one tackle, runs into another, and gets brought down after another gain that will be sufficient for another Ravens 1st down. It's all on the ground for the Ravens so far in this possession, as another gain of 5 for Yannick Duarte gets to the 16-yard line as the Ravens advance into the red zone. 2 receivers on either side, a more typical formation. Now, Chris and Yannick Duarte in the backfield. Chris takes the snap, scrambling. The pass rusher stumbled. He throws a deep pass. Almost caught. Would have been a spectacular catch by number 5, Keen Marcello, if he had made it. I think it was number 20, Kyle Hudson, in coverage for the Badgers, as the first pass attempt from Chris Duarte falls incomplete. Second and 10. The two receivers on the right kind of tight, and they move Yannick Duarte out of the backfield to the left side of the formation. Chris Duarte steps back, steps up, throws for the end zone, and it's caught. Caught in bounds on the corner route, and the Ravens strike first with a 16-yard passing touchdown, complete to number 17, Colin Hall Jr. So the Ravens, after grounding and pounding through the first 4 or 5 plays of the possession, go to the air once and miss, go to the air again, and find the end zone for the 16-yard score. And now it looks like they're lining up for the PAT. Looks like number 13, Tristan Casey, lining up to kick. Chris Duarte, the holder, snap ball down, kick is up, and it is through. Seven nothing. The Ravens take the early lead. Off of a 16-yard touchdown pass from Chris Duarte to Colin Hall Jr. We got some more notes in the live chat. Big Danny 87 asking what number is Xavier Garcia. Well, on the website he's listed as number 7, but I don't see a number 7 out here today for the Badgers. So possible he might be wearing a different jersey number. I think he's a recent addition to the summer roster here, so wouldn't surprise me if they didn't have the right number for him just yet. It's possible he's number 14. We got some notes of Go Ravens and Go Badgers in the live chat. Nice to see. Casey goes for a low bouncing onside kick, and it bounces out of bounds. Gutsy but ultimately smart decision by the Badgers' number 0, Christian Alisea, deciding not to go for the ball and instead to go for the block to prevent the Ravens cover guy from trying to recover that ball, as instead it bounces out of bounds. And so the Badgers will start their new possession at their own 35. I mean, that's the thing. When that ball starts bouncing, if you don't have a good angle to fall on it, it can, squirt away from you. And so I think Alisea kind of, ran the risks in his head there and decided that it was a safer play to just let that ball roll out of bounds. Ultimately, a smart play there. First and 10 from the 35. Hughes and Cuba Morales in the backfield for the Badgers. 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Hughes takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking to throw. Fires one. Oh, just mistimed. Pass intended for number 5, Jean Janvier. And the throw was just a little behind him. It's too bad. John Vieira had a step on his man there, and if Hughes had managed to get that, a little out in front of his receiver instead of behind, that might have been a big catch and run opportunity for the Badgers. But I mean, that's the thing. If the only football you watch is professional or like D1 college or something, you kind of get spoiled for those kind of timing routes because they are so much harder than they look. 2nd and 10 now. Once again, 2 receivers either side. Morales on the right of Hughes. Ooh, we got some jumping on the line, and a flag blows the play dead. We'll see who they say jumped first. They're going to say the offense. False start on the Badgers. We'll move them back to the 30, and it will be 2nd and 15. Second false start penalty on the Badgers offense through their first 2 possessions. And now they reset from further back. Hughes steps back, looking, fires, simple curl to Greg Ryan is complete, and he holds on to the ball to undo the damage of the penalty. Still going to be 3rd and some distance there as he got them about 7 yards on that completion. It'll be 3rd and 8 from the 37. Greg Ryan already with 2 receiving touchdowns here at Daly Field this summer season. 1 each in the Raptors and Longhorns games. And he gets the Badgers' first reception of this game. 3rd and 8. Can the Badgers secure their first down of the night? Or will the Ravens hold them again? Hughes steps back, steps up, now trying to scramble. Still looking, nothing there, and he runs out of time and is dragged down. He was trying to juke back and forth, but ultimately could not evade the continuous pressure from number 22 of the Ravens, Jeffrey Rodriguez, as he comes up with a big 3rd down sack there. Pushes the Badgers all the way back to the 24-yard line. So a 13-yard loss on the sack brings up 4th and 21. 11 yards back from where they started. Joseph back out to punt. Yannick Duarte back to receive for the Ravens. The Badgers will need a much better punt than they got last time just to send it back to the return man. Joseph does send this one away. It's a little shallow. Off the bounce, and it's just going to die. Duarte decides not to take the risk there as it's downed by Ryan. And that is, I believe, going to end the first quarter. Unless it was a timeout called. And indeed, that is the end of the first quarter. Our score at the end of 1. Ravens 7, Badgers 0. We're going to play a quick word from one of our sponsors here during the break between quarters as they switch fields.
Hello everyone, I'm Dana Perello, owner of Diamond Pressure Washing and Car Detailing, LLC. I am very excited to kick off the spring. We got some promos, 20% off for any pressure washing. Give me a call. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, diamondpressure101.com.
All right. Thanks again to Dana Perello and Diamond Pressure Washing for their support of Golden Badgers football. We begin the second quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Ravens from the Badgers' 47-yard line. Not quite the field position they had last possession, but with how they moved the ball downfield at will the last time they had the ball, might not matter. We'll see. Chris Duarte coming out in shotgun to start. Looking for a quick screen. Throws it. Complete. Tackled behind the line. Lost the football. Oh, but they blew it dead due to loss of forward progress. Jonathan Joseph with the quick hit off the cornerback position on, I believe, Tristan Casey. A big loss on the play. They were pushing him back, and the ref blew the whistle, blew the play dead before the ball was poked out by the Badgers defenders. And so the Badgers will have to settle for a big tackle for loss rather than a potential change of possession. 5 yards lost on the attempted screen pass there. And it will be 2nd and 15 for the Ravens for the first time starting from their own territory at their own 48-yard line. Shotgun again, 2 receivers either side. Duarte takes the snap, hands off to Unique Duarte, who's got some space. Jukes around 1, heading towards the edge. Defender slipped and fall, but he's tackled out of bounds by George Tate. Unique Duarte a little slow to get up, but looks okay. Undoes a lot of the damage of that tackle for loss on first down, but ultimately still short of the first down, as it's going to be 3rd and 3 from the 30. Gain of 12 on the play for Unique Duarte. Chris Duarte takes a snap, steps back, fires a deep shot into coverage, blocked away by Marquise Hughes. The Badgers quarterback playing free safety in that situation comes across the field, or at least from the middle to the far side of the field, to deflect that pass. Brings up 4th down for the Ravens. They must have had a lot of confidence in their ability to get the short gain in order to go for a deep shot like that on 3rd and short. They come out again in shotgun, 4th and 3. Ooh, goes for the hard count. Gets the free play. Unique Duarte juking around. He's got the first. And we'll see where they place it. It was a defensive penalty. They decline it as Unique Duarte was able to run for the first down. My mistake on the field position earlier, I said from the 30, it was from the 40-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play for Unique Duarte, gets him to the Badgers' 34-yard line, so 1 yard more than they would have gotten from the offsides penalty. Now 3 receivers on the left side of the formation, 1 on the right. Chris Duarte goes for a quick screen, finds his man, taking off, running with it. Brought down was Marcelo as he's tackled by number 32, Rodriguez. That's going to be a gain of 5 on the play. Feels like that 5-6 yard range has been the most consistent result for plays when the Ravens have the football. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the Badgers' 29. Two receivers on either side of Chris Duarte. Looks like he's got Tristan Casey behind him in the backfield. Or does he? Hand off, try and juke around. Finds a bit of room, drags a couple tacklers, ultimately brought down. And my mistake, that's not number 13, Tristan Casey. That's number 12, Josh Brandon. Gain of 4 on the play. Going to bring up 3rd and 1. And the Badgers almost had that play blown up at the line of scrimmage. But the Ravens running backs, Unique Duarte and now Josh Brandon, have shown an ability to juke around tacklers and create just enough space for themselves. 3rd and 1. And they go for a QB keeper, and Chris Duarte's got it for another 1st down. They decided to just take the 1st down this time. They didn't go for any surprise deep shots on 3rd and short. And it'll now be 1st and 10 from the Badgers' 32-yard line. Or 22-yard line, excuse me. Chris Duarte steps back, fires, going for the end zone. Oh, did he have control in bounds, though? They say yes. Touchdown, Ravens. Number 7, Khalid Murhi, with the 22-yard touchdown reception. Chris Duarte with his 2nd passing touchdown of the day. And now they line up for the PAT. That feels like one of those plays that if it happened like in the NFL or something on a major network, they would replay it from like 6 different angles to see whether or not he bobbled the ball. But at this stage, with minimally paid officials only able to see what their eyes see, you know, you're not gonna overturn a play like that. You know, and heck, it's hard for me to say. I have a worse view of it than they do. When you only got one angle to work with, you work with what you can see. Casey lining up for the PAT, but they fake it. Chris Duarte rolling out, looking, pressure, fires a pass, caught in the back of the end zone, finds his man for the 2-point conversion. It looked like a desperate heave across his body, but the whole time there was a man waiting in the back of the end zone for that pass. Bit hard to read the jersey number, but I think it was number 20, Joseph Garcia, who caught that one. Two possessions, 2 touchdowns for the Ravens, as they are firmly in control of this one to start with a 15-0 lead. And we do have a helpful confirmation of things in the live chat that Xavier Garcia is wearing number 14 for the Badgers. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me. You know, I felt like that was a distinct possibility. It's just hard to operate without confirmation. So thank you, I appreciate that. After another successful conversion, The Ravens kicker, Tristan Casey, lines up to kick this one away. Sends a line drive deep. It's caught by Garcia. Garcia takes off running, heads up the middle, and gets past the 35 on a pretty solid return there. So I really appreciate the correction now, because got confirmation on his name just in time for him to receive the kickoff. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Badgers from their own 37-yard line. They've been having a real rough time on offense to start this game. Both of their previous possessions ending in a net loss in yards, as they went 3 and out both times. A net loss of 1 yard their first possession, a net loss of 11 yards second possession after a big 3rd down sack. This time they come out with one back on either side of Hughes, possibly for extra protection, possibly for a decoy on a run play. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left of Hughes. Takes the snap, hands off, and nowhere to go for Cuba Morales as he gets tackled for a loss. Going to be a loss of 2 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 12 from the 35. The run game hasn't done much for the Badgers so far. And while their biggest play from scrimmage so far was on a pass, their biggest loss from scrimmage was on a QB sack. Snap, Hughes looking to pass this time and batted at the line. They had a simple rub route going on the far side with Greg Ryan and Kyle Hudson, with Ryan taking the slant towards the middle of the field and Hudson running a simple out route. Hudson appeared to be open if that's where Hughes' pass was aimed, but it was batted down, and so it falls incomplete. 3rd and 12 coming up. Two receivers on either side of Hughes on 3rd and long, with Morales positioned on his left. Steps back, looking, hit as he throws, and they're going to call it incomplete as his arm was moving in a forward motion. He gets hit by Jeffrey Rodriguez, who almost had his 2nd sack of the day and almost had a sack fumble. But it will simply be a disrupted pass called incomplete. 4th and 12 coming up for the Badgers, is once again their net yardage is negative going into 4th down. Oh, but they're going to go for it. I don't know if they're doing this because the punt plays haven't gotten them much punt yardage, or if there's not much time left till halftime because we don't have a scoreboard clock here. But either way, they're going to try for it on 4th and 12. Hughes steps back, looks, fires over the middle, out of reach of Hudson. And that will be a turnover on downs. Once again, the play design was fine, and Hudson had some inside leverage on his cover man, even if he didn't have that much separation. A completed pass was possible, but just overthrown. And again, matching up the timing on those passes is so much harder than they make it look at the higher levels. So with that, the Ravens will take over 1st and 10 at the Badgers' 35-yard line. Two receivers on either side of quarterback Chris Duarte, with running back Yannick Duarte on his left. Takes the snap. Chris Duarte fires a deep shot down the left. His man's got several steps, and he's got the end zone. One play, one score. Touchdown, Ravens. Number 11, Nasavel Medeiros, with the 35-yard touchdown catch, as he just blew right by his man there. Safety help could not get there in time. And boy, that's the kind of separation where as a quarterback, you just feel so comfortable just chucking it up and knowing that your receiver has created so much separation, he'll have time to just, stop if it's underthrown and come back for it or whatever. You can just, throw that ball to the moon and it will come down in your receiver's hands. Good fast route running there by Medeiros, and a good find by the quarterback Chris Duarte. And it looks like the Ravens are going to go for two. Empty backfield. They move Yannick Duarte in motion. Handoff, go for a reverse. It's a reverse. It's a pass. They go for the Philly special, and they complete the two-point conversion. The throw from number 1, Albert Amato, to, I believe, number 2, Anthony Almeida. And that makes it a 23-0 score, as the Ravens asserting their will here in the first half. Three passing touchdowns for Chris Duarte, one each to Colin Hall Jr., Khalid Murhi, and Nasavel Medeiros. And with one successful kick and two successful two-point conversions, the Ravens stand with 23 points here in the second quarter. Tristan Casey lining up for another kickoff. They've got Garcia and Joseph back deep to return the kick. It's been a mix of deep kicks and one onside kick attempt so far from Casey. He goes for his highest, deepest kick yet as it goes over Garcia's head and bounces all the way back to the end zone for a touchback. Yeah, one of those kicks where it looked like Garcia might have started in on it. You know, kind of like one of those things you see with an outfielder in baseball. They start moving in on it, thinking that it's going to land shallower than it does, and then all of a sudden you have to turn around and go back. And, you know, if you're an outfielder, you try and make the catch no matter what, but when you're a return man, if you misjudge that and you're going back for it, it's kind of a risky angle to try and catch a kick from. Doesn't set up your momentum in the right direction, so a lot of times returners in that situation will do what Garcia did, just let the ball go over your head and let it bounce back into the end zone. 1st and 10 for the Badgers from the 25-yard line. 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Xavier Garcia on the left of Hughes in the backfield. Snap, Hughes steps back, fires, and disrupted as he almost had Christian Alisea for the completion, broken up by a last-second hit from the Ravens defender. Can't quite see the jersey number there. Looks like it was number 0, Javen Millhouse, for the Ravens, who broke up that pass. And so it'll be 2nd and 10. And boy, the Ravens have really broken up attempted Badgers passes in a variety of different ways, whether it's hitting the quarterback as he throws, batting the ball at the line, or hitting the receiver as he's trying to secure the catch. Now 2nd and 10, still at the 25. Hughes steps back, looking, now has to scramble, still looking, fires a shot down the near side, looking for Alisea, comes back to make the catch. Christian Alisea adjusts well and catches that one for the Badgers' first down conversion. Hughes did a good job buying time. And even with 2 defenders on his back, Alisea adjusted well. Came back for that pass and made the catch. Gain of 24 on the play, as it is now 1st and 10 for the Badgers from the 49-yard line. Badgers just 2 yards away from getting to the Ravens' side of the field for the first time today. Hughes steps back, looks, fires deep again, coming back for it, intercepted! Pass was intended for Jean Janvier. Intercepted that time by, I think, Millhouse. I think it was Javen Millhouse who made the play on Alisea earlier. No, actually, I don't think it was Millhouse. I think it might have been number 8, Jojo Binda. Another guy with his jersey slightly pulled up, so a bit tough for me to see. But the Badgers' biggest completed pass followed up by an interception. As again, another slightly underthrown ball, and this time the receiver not able to adjust and come back for it. And so the Ravens will take over for the first time in their own territory. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. 3 receivers on the right, and they move Unique Duarte out of the backfield, so now 2 receivers on the left. Chris Duarte rolling to his right, flag is thrown, pass is fired, incomplete through the hands of Jonathan Joseph in coverage, and it's a holding penalty against the Ravens. And so that's going to push him back about 10 yards. And I believe it's 10 yards from the spot. So it's not going to, they're trying to figure out exactly where the spot is. Looks like it's going to be, looks like the penalty was at the line of scrimmage. So a clean 10-yard holding penalty there will make it 1st and 20 from the 23 for the Ravens. Now 2 receivers on either side, more typical formation. Chris Duarte steps back, scrambles to his right, unloads a deep shot, picked off! The Badgers take it right back on the interception by Jonathan Joseph. Trading possession back and forth. Jonathan Joseph staying step for step with his man. Great turnaround at the last second. And only able to get his right arm around. Looked like he pinned that ball against his body to be able to come down with that catch. Great play by Jonathan Joseph. And now the Badgers take right back over. 1st and 10 from their own 35. We got a few raindrops surprisingly falling out here at Daly Field as the Badgers take over. 1st and 10 from their own 35. Hughes steps back, fires over the middle, lands at the feet of a couple of potential receivers there. Ali Saya and number 28, DeAndre Santana. Falls incomplete, will bring up 2nd and 10. And so with some rain falling out here at Daly Field, I've now thrown a coat over my laptop, so it'll make things a little harder on some of the smaller aspects of this broadcast, but overall we should still be good. 2nd and 10 for the Badgers from the 35. 2 receivers either side. Hughes steps back, looking, scrambles, trying to shake off. The pass rusher just heaves it. And it looks like he got it just past the line of scrimmage. And he was being disrupted, so I think, yeah, they're just going to rule that an incomplete. A risky move by Hughes, to be sure, but ultimately prevents both the sack and the intentional grounding penalty. That was, I believe, number 2, Anthony Almeida, who almost brought him down there for the sack. 3rd and 10 now for the Badgers. They send John Vier in motion, slightly mistimed on the snap. They got to improvise. Pass is broken up. Flag is thrown. Hit was early. The hit from the cover man, Day Dixon, hit Santana in the back. A split second before the throw hit Santana's hands. And that's going to be a pass interference penalty, which is a big break for the Badgers. That's going to move them up to the 44. So ultimately, since it's a spot foul, it's only a gain of 9 on the penalty, but pass interference is an automatic first down penalty. So the Badgers do get to move the chains. Set up 1st and 10. 2 backs alongside Hughes this time. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. 1st and 10 from the 44. Hughes fakes the handoff, tries to run up in the formation, gets dragged down. Quarterback sack there by number 50, looks like. That is Edmundo Pakes. Apologies if I butchered that last name there. That's going to be a 1-yard sack. Bring up 2nd and 11. You could see the idea that the Badgers had, create some space for Hughes to buy time for his receivers, but it just backfired. And now 2nd and 11. 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, but they send John Vier in motion. Hughes takes the snap, looking, fires, misses. I think that one was intended for Greg Ryan. Looks like it was thrown over the head of Greg Ryan. Also looked like it could have been wide and shallow of Ali Seiya, as they had a bit of a sail concept going on the far side there. It'll be 3rd and 11 from the 43 now for the Badgers. They got a big break on their last 3rd and long, getting that pass interference penalty. They're trying to make something happen before halftime here. Once again, they come out with a back on either side of Hughes. Hopefully this blocking scheme will work out better for Hughes to buy some time. Snap, they go for a handoff on 3rd and long. Jonathan Joseph bursts up the middle, but gets tripped up and brought down short of midfield and well short of the yard to gain. That will bring up 4th down, as they're going to spot the ball at the 48. The yard to gain is the Ravens' 46. So 4th down and 6 yards to go after a 5-yard run by Joseph. And with them close to midfield, possibly close to halftime, and the lack of success they've had in the punting game today, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them go for it here on one of the shorter 1st downs they've faced, and they are lining up to go for it. Two receivers on either side of Hughes. Hughes steps back, extra blocks, steps up, fires a deep shot, looking for Joseph, off his hands, incomplete. Joseph was trying to come over the back of his defender, but it goes off his fingertips, incomplete, and that is going to be halftime. Our score at half, the Rhody Ravens 23, the MetroWest Golden Badgers 0. Well, with halftime here, I'm going to take a quick break and mute the mic here, but first, we'll take a look at a preview for the upcoming new season of the official Golden Badgers docuseries, Only Way Is Up.
One, two, three, Badger!
Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, coming to you live from Daly Field in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the second half of tonight's East Coast Football League contest between the visiting Rhody Ravens and the hosting MetroWest Golden Badgers. The Ravens firmly in control off the back of 3 first-half touchdown passes by quarterback Christopher Duarte, completed to Colin Hall Jr., Khalid Murhi, and Nasavel Medeiros. And with 1 successful kick and 2 successful 2-pointers, the lead is 23-0, as the Ravens will also receive the first kickoff of the second half. Lining up to kick it away for the Badgers is number 80, Greg Ryan. One of the return men back deep for the Ravens is Colin Hall Jr., who did receive the first touchdown of this game. Ryan pops up, and onside kick, it's dropped. Free ball picked up by the Badgers. Went off the hands of a Ravens player, and it's recovered by the Badgers' number 38, Marquise Allen. The Badgers come out aggressive on the kickoff, and it pays off in a big way. So the Badgers, not the Ravens, will get the first offensive possession of the second half, as they'll be starting at their own 48-yard line. Badgers will be hoping for some better offensive production here in the second half. Just 2 first downs for the home team in the first half of this game, and one of them off of a defensive penalty. Marquise Hughes in shotgun, 2 receivers either side. Hands off to Cuba Morales, who runs and is stopped but stays on his feet, and that backfired badly as he tried to move back and reset and ended up losing yards. Loss of 3 on the play. And sometimes in that situation, like, your instinct might be to stay up on your feet and try and find the opening, but really, sometimes you've just got to keep pushing forward until either you go down or forward progress is stopped. 2nd and 13 now from the 45. Hughes fakes the handoff, quick screen pass, and a fumble. Fumble recovered by the Ravens. They've lateraled a couple of times, but a flag was thrown. I think that was a forward lateral, as this play is still going on. And another lateral. And they bring him down as another flag is thrown at the end of the play. Some of the folks on the Badgers sidelines were screaming, "Let him go," presumably saying that a touchdown wouldn't count because of the forward lateral, and they wanted to avoid a penalty on the tackle. I mean, let's see what this is. I mean, either way, it's a disaster for the Badgers offense because the fumble recovery happened before the flags were thrown, so possession will still change directions. And the flag was thrown for an illegal forward pass. The Ravens were trying to do some lateral trickery on the fumble recovery there, but one of their laterals went forward. And so we're waiting to see where the ball is spotted. It is Ravens football, just to clarify. The fumble and the recovery happened before the flag was thrown, so the change of possession still holds. But the Ravens pushed back to the Badgers' 35-yard line, which is where they will start their actual first offensive possession of the second half. They were robbed of it by the onside kick, but stole it right back with the fumble recovery there. Starting the possession, two receivers either side. They send a man in motion. Jet sweep here. Moving to the outside, got some room. Heading to the outside, got a block. And finally taken down near the sideline. Flag thrown from the backfield. This might be coming back. That was a big run by Khalid Murhi, who was one of the scoring receivers from the first half. And that is going to be a penalty on the Ravens. That run is coming back. Ultimately a loss of 6 on the penalty. It will be 1st and 16 from the Badgers' 41. Empty backfield now. 4 receivers to the right of Chris Duarte. One on the right, and the one on the right is the running back, Yannick Duarte. Snap. They set up looking like a screen, but instead Duarte stepping up, firing a deep shot down the left sideline, chasing it down for a touchdown was Khalid Murhi, his second score of the day, 41 yards on that one. As that ball looks like it was going to be too far out in front, he turned on the jets and chased down that catch. As the Ravens now go up 29-0. Fourth passing touchdown for Chris Duarte. Second receiving touchdown for Khalid Murhi. The Ravens trying to get set up for a 2-pointer. Looks like there's some confusion on the formation as they're trying to get everybody out there. Now Duarte takes the snap, looking, throwing, misses. Incomplete, the first failed PAT of the day for the Ravens. But the visitors score through the air once again, and now they are up 4 scores, 29-0. And I mean, that's one of those things where good play design meets good execution. It really can look as nice as that last pass did. The Ravens started off with 4 receivers on the left side of the play. They had 2 step back as if setting up for a screen pass, as if one was going to catch it and another one was going to be a blocker. And they just sent Murhi on Simple go route down the far sideline. And Chris Duarte stepped up in the pocket to buy some time. Got close to the line of scrimmage and just sent one flying and trusted his speedy receiver to catch up to it. Tristan Casey lining up for the kickoff. Goes onside, bouncing high in the air, and it's snatched away by the Ravens. The Badgers trying to argue there was a hit before the ball was grabbed, I think, but I don't think that's an argument they're going to win. Santana let the ball bounce past him and let it bounce up high in the air. Was waiting for it and swooping in and taking it away for the Ravens was number 87. And the Ravens had two players listed as number 87, so that was either Anthony Booker Jr. or Roberto Cardoso. So each team has had a successful onside kick here in the second half, as the Ravens take possession, trying to go up 5 scores. They've scored on 4 of their 5 offensive possessions so far. Empty backfield again. Duarte steps back, looking, deep shot over the middle, and it's dropped. Had his man open for what looks like it was going to be another touchdown, but Albert Amado couldn't quite come down with the football. The Badgers secondary struggling to keep pace with the Ravens receivers. Jonathan Joseph, really the only cover man who's been consistently able to keep up step for step with the guys he was covering. And of course, he was the one who had the interception in the first half, as they line up with an empty backfield and once again go back to that 4 receiver to the left formation. Duarte steps back, fakes, steps up, running around, looking, running out of time, grabbed, brought down behind the line for a sack. Couple of players in on that tackle for the Badgers. Number 70, Roberto Perez, number 38, Marquise Allen, and number 99, Martino. Loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 12 from the 44. Duarte goes for a screen pass this time out of the 4 receiver formation. Running down the sideline is Amado. And off the screen pass, they convert the first down. So they try to go deep on back-to-back plays, doesn't work, incomplete, then sack. And then for once, the screen pass was not a decoy, and it worked out in a big way for him. 1st and 10 from Badgers 29. Duarte steps back, rolls to his right, looking, fires deep pass, flag on the play. Pass is caught in the end zone. If the play stands, it'll be a touchdown for the Ravens. We got to see what the flag is. They called a chop block on the Ravens. That ball is coming back. It was another great pass from Duarte. Would have been his fifth touchdown pass. And I think that was to Keen Marcello, and it would have been his first. But he did need a little time to get that pass away, and that resulted in an illegal block. And that's going to push him back, way back to the 46. A loss of 17 on the penalty makes it 1st and 27. Or, yes, that's correct. 1st and 27 from the Badgers, 46. Again, empty backfield, but this time 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Duarte steps back, trying to evade the pass rush, rolls to his right, fires for the sideline. It's caught by Amato at the sideline. That'll bring him from the 46 all the way down to the 33, gain of 13 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 14. Empty backfield again. That's been a pattern for the Ravens this half. Duarte rolls to his left this time. Pass rush chasing him. He stumbles but keeps his footing. Still running around. Still looking. Flag is thrown. Pass gets away. Caught. Hard hit right as he catches it. We'll see what the flag is, though. A Badgers player is down hurt. A lot of things to unpack from this play. First off, hopefully the Badgers player is okay. Second off, this play will likely be coming back as a flag thrown in the backfield there, likely an illegal block on the Ravens. Ooh, the trainer is coming out with his bag for this one. Oh, you don't want to see that. Players down on one knee. Out of respect for the player down hurt. With him not getting up fast and with the trainer coming out to take an official look at him, you know, all I can do is speculate from this perspective, so don't take any of this as gospel, but he's getting up. Doesn't seem to be walking with any kind of a limp or anything. You know, maybe just, you know, I mean, that might have been like some kind of concussion protocol thing. I don't know. It's number 1, Roland Morales, who did suffer an injury earlier in this year. I can't remember if it was earlier this summer season or if it was back in the spring season. Comes off the field there. The play does come back due to a penalty. And this time we're all the way back to the 48-yard line. So that's a full 15 yards back on the penalty. That is 2nd and 29 now for the Ravens off of 2 blocking penalties. And like I said, don't take any of the things I'm saying about the injury as gospel, because it's just pure speculation from up here. Only thing to take away is, hopefully Roland Morales is okay long term. 2nd and 29, empty backfield again. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Duarte steps back, rolls to his right. Looking, fires downfield, and drops incomplete. Intended for Marcelo. Joseph was coming over the top there, but landed too far for Marcelo and too short for Joseph to intercept. And so it'll be 3rd and 29. The Badgers trying to get just their 2nd defensive stop of the day. They had an interception in the first half by Jonathan Joseph. And now, thanks to a couple penalties, they have pushed the Ravens back. 3rd and 29 now, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Duarte steps back. Got some time, fires over the middle, deflected. That was thrown into all kinds of traffic, went off somebody's hand. I couldn't tell you who. But that's going to bring up 4th and 29. Now the Ravens are up 4 scores, and the ball is in opposing territory. There's not much risk either way. The odds of them getting 29 or more yards on this next play are slim. They need to get all the way down to the 19-yard line if they're going to convert a first down in this situation. Ten seconds on the play clock as 2 receivers on either side. Chris Duarte steps back, steps up, fires a deep shot down the left sideline, out of reach, incomplete. Intended, I believe, for Murphy, and that is going to be the first turnover on downs for the Ravens offense, as that is going to end the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3, our score, Ravens 29, Badgers 0. Now for a quick word from our sponsor, Diamond Pressure Washing.
Hello everyone, I'm Dana Perello, owner of Diamond Pressure Washing and Car Detailing, LLC. I am very excited to kick off the spring. We got some promos, 20% off for any pressure washing. Give me a call. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, diamondpressure101.com.
So the Badgers will take over to start the 4th quarter, as a few sparse raindrops still falling out here. The Badgers take over at their own 48-yard line as we begin the final quarter of this game. You know, the Badgers likely, very, very likely not going to win this one, but hopeful still that they can keep up their streak of scoring in every game so far this season. They're hoping they can end the shutout here in the 4th quarter and get on the board. Empty backfield for the Badgers now. They've got 3 receivers to the left and 2 to the right of Hughes here on 1st and 10. Takes the snap, steps back, fires over the middle, and it's caught. Pass was caught there, I believe, by Joseph. As they get a medium gain there. Gain of 7 on the play. Out to... What the heck? Oh, I think there was a penalty. A penalty against the Ravens adds 15 extra yards on the end of that. I didn't see what happened there that caused that extra penalty to be applied. But with the 15-yard penalty, the Badgers now get 1st and 10 at the Ravens' 30. So folks, if you guys saw anything on that, let me know in the live chat. Empty backfield again. We got movement. We got pre-snap movement. False start on the Badgers. So right as they move forward, they take a step back. It'll now be 1st and 15 from the 35. They are sticking with the empty backfield. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Hughes steps back, fires as he's hit, and it's off the hands of Garcia and could not be picked off. Number 42, George Jones, had a chance at it for the Ravens, but just slightly out of his reach. 2nd and 15 now for the Badgers, still at the 35. Still empty backfield. The Badgers sticking with this formation. Hughes, quick pass. Receiver wasn't ready for it. Flag on the play. Pass was thrown earlier than expected, and it was hard to tell with how tightly grouped up the receivers were who that pass was to. And they're going to call a block at the knees on the Badgers, and that'll push them even further back. Oh, it looks like the Ravens declined the penalty. They're daring the Badgers to try and get 15 yards in the next 2 plays. Badgers' one big play so far today was that 24-yard completion to Christian Alisea. They've had a hard time making big plays outside of that. Hughes steps back, steps up, scrambles to his right, looking, nowhere to throw. He takes off running, cuts towards the middle. Flag thrown towards the end of the play. Might be an illegal block on the receiver who is blocking up field. If so, that play is going to come back, and the Badgers will lose a lot of yards. Looks like Yep, looks like it is going to be a downfield holding penalty, so 10-yard spot. And that's going to push him back to the 31, so it's a net gain of 4 yards because it was a spot penalty. But it would have been a gain of 14 yards, and it would have brought up 4th and 1. There was a note in the live chat saying that the Badgers QB should try and make something work with his legs, and Marquise Hughes is a very athletic player. He does have the ability to make things happen in open space if he gets it. 3rd and 11 now, empty backfield again. Hughes, quick, now a quick pass, complete to Kyle Hudson. A whistle was blown. Oh, Hudson got flipped, ball came out, but was he down? They're saying the ground caused the fumble. Boy, that was a wild play. There was an errant whistle blown, or it might have, I don't know, maybe a whistle coming from the soccer fields behind us. That was a very confusing play. But they ruled Hudson down by contact. And that's going to bring up 4th and about 2, I believe. 9 yards the gain on the short pass to Hudson. And a timeout appears to have been called by the Ravens. Rain ramping up a bit. Again out here at Daly Field, so I'm going to throw jacket back over. With a big play coming up for the Badgers. This might be their best chance to get on the scoreboard before this game ends and prevent the shutout. At this point, the final result is all but a given, but for the Badgers, there is still meaning to be had if they can get down the field and score before this game ends. So a big 4th down coming up. They're going empty backfield again, but this time 3 receivers on the right and 2 on the left. Hughes steps back, fires. Oh, nowhere near his receiver. Complete miscommunication for the Badgers results in a turnover on downs. Badgers decided to go for a fade pass on that play, but I'm not sure if there was miscommunication about where the receiver was supposed to be or if the receivers just got jammed too hard at the line by the Ravens defenders. But either way, either that ball was not where it needed to be or that receiver was not where he needed to be, or both. Falls incomplete, and the Ravens take over. 1st and 10 at about their own 22. Duarte takes the snap, looking around, evades one tackler, still scrambling now, fires a pass coming back, and catching it is number 11, Medeiros. So Medeiros makes the catch for another first down. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Badgers' 49. Duarte steps up, moves, and that pass might have been deflected by Perez at the line as the rain starts ramping up here at the tail end of this ball game. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Ravens. Duarte steps back, got time. Not enough time, though, as he gets wrapped up and sacked. Marquise Allen on the sack there with Cuba Morales. That's going to push the Ravens back. As it starts pouring out here. They get pushed back from the Badgers' 49 to their own 41, 10 yards lost on the sack. It'll be 3rd and 20. Oh, bad snap. Duarte has to come and get it, but he scrambles and fires a deep shot. Intercepted. Picked off by the Badgers for the 2nd time tonight. This ball picked off by number 20, Kyle Hudson. So the Badgers get their 2nd interception, but that effectively works as an arm punt and will pin the Badgers deep in their own territory. This will be the toughest field position that they've faced all night. As they're going to be starting from what looks to be their own 17. So the Badgers are going to have a long way to go and not a lot of time to go there if they want to try and get on the board before this game ends. Hughes steps back, scrambles to his left. Oh, ball pops out, still on the ground. And I think the Ravens are going to come away with it. And they will. Strip sack by the Ravens takes the ball right back. And they're going to have a new possession in great field position. So in effect, the interception almost ended up gaining them yards. Ravens are going to start just outside the 10, so it will still be 1st and 10, not quite 1st and goal territory. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Badgers' 12. I think we might be seeing some backups in now for the Ravens here at the tail end of this one. Timeout called by the Badgers. As it looked like they had number 42, George Jones, out there in the backfield for the Ravens. And now off and running, gains the edge and gains the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens. That one scored by number 2, Anthony Almeida. (35-0) as the Ravens get their first rushing touchdown of the day. Boy, I was just wiping some of the raindrops off my camera, and then the play started and they ended up scoring. My apologies there, folks. This time another handoff, and running in is number 12, Josh Brandon. Successful on the two-pointer. 37-0. Now the score. And a tough day for the Badgers, for sure, especially on the offensive side. Their offense has been doing so much better this season than it has in years past, finding the end zone on a much more consistent basis than they have in previous seasons. But this, in this game, the Ravens have really just put the clamps down on them. As we set up for another kickoff. You got a different kicker out this time for the Ravens, appears to be number 23. And they go for an onside kick. And the Badgers don't try and do anything fancy. Greg Ryan just falls on it. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Badgers from the Ravens' 45 after the successful onside recovery. Two receivers on either side of Hughes. Whistle blows. Timeout called by the Ravens. Ravens might be bringing in some backups to get some playing time here at the tail, excuse me, at the tail end of this game. So with this result, the Ravens will keep their undefeated season alive at 4-0. The Badgers will fall to 1-4 on the season. Some premature movement and a bad snap, and it's recovered by Morales, and he gets dragged down way behind the line. Boy, that play was just all kinds of clumsy from the start as the Badgers move back 5 yards. Or I guess 4 yards as they put him on the 49. Second and 14 now. Snap, different quarterback. It's, I believe, Joseph, who just takes off running down the sideline, and he's got some room. Dodges one and forced out of bounds after a huge gain on the run. They just put Jonathan Joseph in at quarterback and said, hey, just take off running and make something happen. Fresh set of downs. Badgers with a little bit of confusion as one of their O-linemen, I think, got a little banged up on the play and had to come out, and so they had to make a substitution at the time when they're trying to move fast. First and 10 now from the Ravens' 28-yard line after a 21-yard run by Joseph. Early movement as the tackle jumps. 5 yards back for the Badgers. Looks like the Badgers are sticking with the strategy of having Joseph in at quarterback. Joseph steps back, scrambles again, looking around, still trying to run, escapes the tacklers, cutting back towards the middle of the field, just trying to weave his way around, and he's got some room. He might be making something here. Joseph running through, still on his feet, and finally gets brought down. Did I just watch a play from Tecmo Bowl? That was nuts. Jonathan Joseph just doing everything he can to make something out of nothing here, as it's going to be first and goal from the 9. The Badgers trying to end the shutout in the tail end seconds of this game. And once again, the strategy of having the quarterback just run with it and make plays with his feet It's worked out the past couple plays. Can they get the last 9 yards that they need to find the end zone? Two receivers on either side of Joseph. Morales on his left. Snap, steps back, standing in the pocket, running out of room, just fires to nobody well behind the line of scrimmage. I think that's going to be a grounding call. And there it is. I'm not sure why they even have Joseph consider passing. His running has been great, and you can tell from that attempted pass he doesn't really have the arm to make something happen there. So a loss of 15. They go back from the 10 or from the 9. Might have been a loss of 15 or 16. They are now at the 25. And it's goal to go, so it's just second and goal. What? Wait. Timeout called by the Badgers. They're sticking with Joseph at quarterback here. Second and goal from the 25. Steps back. Fires up a pass, and it's intercepted. Now being run back. Marcelo, I believe it is. No, it's number 2, Almeida. Going coast to coast. Laterals it back as he gets tackled. And a flag is thrown as an absolute circus of a play. Flips the script on that one. And that is how the game is going to end. So a fittingly silly play to end a fairly silly game here, but that is your final result. The score here at Daly Field, the Rhody Ravens 37, the MetroWest Golden Badgers 0. Well, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield Sheehan. Remember, for any moments where the Wi-Fi was kind of choppy, we will be uploading the fully recorded version of this broadcast later tonight. If you've enjoyed this live stream regardless, feel free to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things Golden Badgers football, including these live streams, player and coach interviews, and of course the official team docuseries Only Way Is Up. But that is going to do it, and I think that's what we're going to end it on. We're going to show one last preview trailer for the upcoming new season of Only Way Is Up to close this one out. Final score, Ravens 37, Badgers 0. From Daly Field, I am Jesse Mayfield Sheehan. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy this trailer, and have a good night.